Hello, our friends, Evolutionary Energy Arts family.
Hi there.
So, guys, we see, just all these mass tragedies that are happening all over the place, and it seems like they are speeding up.
It does. It just seems like something has changed. Something is in the air. People are more sensitive and they're not able to really cope with what's going on around them, so they lash out and do bad stuff.
This is a sign of the times. Obviously, it's a sign of a great disconnect. We are disconnected from ourselves, from really, who and what we are, from our higher selves, however we want to word it. But we're also obviously very, very disconnected from each other.
We are, and that's really unfortunate. And over the years and over the generations, we've become more and more and more disconnected as they give us the illusion that we're more connected than ever through technology. Well, we're not.
Well, that's a great analogy, talking about the connectivity through technology. But is it really just, is it true connectivity? Or is it just really a case of us becoming kind of zombified? Walking drones almost, so to speak, just rotely going around mechanically without feeling in so many cases. Disconnected from ourselves, disconnected from each other, disconnected from the earth and the planet as a whole, disconnected from all the life on the planet, as we have said. We are in a mass die-off right now. We have seen so many mass strandings of different fish, different dolphins, whales, so many birds falling out of the sky, perhaps some due to certain frequencies and wavelengths, others due to other sorts of technologies, or just simply the poisons that are spread all over the planet in order to increase profits.
So this creates more and more dis-ease and these things start to rise up and it starts to become so noticeable that you can't turn away anymore.
I will share that when we were out in the middle of the desert 50 to 70 miles away from anybody and anything pretty much, it was way easier to connect. Ever since we've come into more of a populated zone, it's harder to connect to the higher realms, to get the direct messages from source, from the guides, from all these beings that reside on the spiritual realms. Because I do believe it's because of the technology. Everywhere we look, we see these towers that reach to the sky that are sending out signals that disrupt, signals that make it hard for us to think clearly. We're talking, as we talk every Monday morning, to one of our dear family members who has dedicated her life to helping others, as somebody that has spent years counseling others. But now, and I don't think she'd mind me telling you, I mean, now she's still a young lady in my mind, but she has this disconnect, this cognitive disconnect that's going on that is either environmental. I feel it is environmental, whether it's just frequencies that are interfering, or if it's also biochemical in our bodies as well. This is going on for the masses. And this is something that is growing, and this is what it takes to see these type of horrible events happen that are happening all over this country and all over the world. It takes a disconnect, not knowing who we are, not being in contact with our higher selves, with source.
Well, I feel most definitely when it comes to EMF, and when that interrupts the energy body enough, that can go from energy waves to the chemistry inside the body and change that as well.
So, we'll leave the motivations, up to you guys to, decide for yourself what you think is really going on this planet, as everybody needs to make their own decision. So, I had another dear friend reach out to me, somebody that I feel is one of the more spiritually advanced people I've ever met on the planet, that, being in the presence of uplifts me. And, the question was, do we or don't we have something You guys know where we're going with this, right? Because this person is a world traveler, and this is going to change the situation for her and her husband. Their lifestyle they're going to have to make a choice, and everybody's going to be making these choices. Do I want my life to stay the same and be able to, assimilate, so to speak? Or am I going to take a stand and, be my own unique individual? And maybe I shouldn't have said it that way, or what have you, but I do feel we are under the pressure to assimilate. And I think that also can drive people to crazy acts.
Mm-hmm. Well, when we know that things are going on that aren't necessarily what they are, we just know that there's something wrong, and it's time to start looking within. This is just a outer thing going on with other people, but really it's not that far from home.
And Cindy didn't see this, but yeah, don't look up, look within, and so we've been reading each other's minds all the time now lately. It's really wild, but that's just part of what's happening. We're not even going to have to ring. We're not going to need a phone. In the age that's to come, you're not going to need a phone. You want to connect to your mother, your brother, your father, your sister, your husband, your wife. You just think about them. Yep. And they will connect with you. This is how it is when we're in the golden age. And of course, we have a way to go before we get to the golden age, as we're just leaving a dark age. And this is the remnants. What we see around us is the remnants of the dark age that we are going to be shedding. And we are in the process. Many people are in the process of shedding. Meanwhile, so many are just basically caught in the muck and the mire. Don't look up. Look within. Again, don't look up for your redemption, so to speak, which we are trained to do in the dominant tradition on this planet, the Judeo-Christian tradition, out of which Islam comes as well. The most fundamentalist aspect of it teaches that your redemption, look up, your redemption's coming, but don't look up. You got to look within. If you're always looking for another to come and save you, you're not going to take the steps to save yourself. Save yourself from the situation that you find yourself in. This is the biggest problem that we have in so many ways. There are many people that will say things like, well, nothing I can do about it. It's God's will. It's not God's will. This is not the God of the universe's will, the source of all of the multiverse. No. This is the will of a clique, a group, a consortium of dark energies trying to disconnect you from yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. And, they've done this time and time and time again. And this is why Mike and I spend our time trying to reach out to people and say, look, this is a huge distraction. And it's not going to get any better. And it's time to really go soul searching now. That's the most important thing.
Most definitely. And so, we always close with namaste, which there's many different meanings to namaste, but it represents the idea that all are one. So in one interpretation, it's the divine in me, God, source that lies within me, recognizes God, source that lies within you. And as we've said so many times before, if God is omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, then it has to be in every single one of its creations, every single one of us. God's within us, then why are we listening to other people out there? Why are we listening to politicians? Why are we listening to preachers driving around in, their Mercedes-Benz and their Rolls-Royce with their, 10-digit bank accounts? Why should we listen to them when all we got to do is go within and find the answers? Because the answers lie within. If you're always looking for answers without, then you're going to be at the will and the whim of those that can manipulate you.
And that can be quite a challenge these days because they've spent a lifetime and generations of disconnecting people from their soul. So when you do go soul searching, they don't make it very easy for you. And that's why it's so important to have like a daily spiritual practice to help pull you back to yourself.
So as we see, tantric philosophy, as well as others, teach that everything that exists is one divine consciousness that longs to experience itself in different forms. And we see the same thing in really the mystery traditions of the West, because they have to be mystery traditions. If you said that in previous centuries and somebody from the official church heard you say something like that, you could be put to death. And, many, many, many were. But in the East and in the mystery traditions, it was known this is the greatest mystery of all. All is one. So the way to go is to go within. And again, as we've said so many times, dogma divides. But spirituality can bring us all together. It's just a matter of seeing this and recognizing this. So when we look at everything that's going on, it's a symptom of spiritual disease.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And you have to treat things at the core or the root of the problem.
Yes. So may there be peace out there on the planet. May people recognize the divine that lies within each of us. May we have more compassion for each other. May we lift each other up and out of the muck and the mire. May we recognize that the system itself is, a cause of so much of all the problems that we see around. And may we rise above this system.
Absolutely. And hold on.
She's going to go get a dinghy because that always helps so many people. So guys, thank you so much for your support on Ko-Fi and Patreon. As always, stay prepared out there, but keep planting those seeds and the seeds of the new time to come as we leave this dark age and head towards a golden one.
God bless and namaste.
God bless and namaste.